If you've ever sat down to work and felt your attention dissolve into nothing, this is not laziness, because lazy people do not feel guilty before they even begin. You want to do the work, but your attention has already left the room. Most people call this brain rot. Your nervous system adapted to rapidly changing inputs before it learned how to tolerate stillness. In clinical terms, you are trapped in a sensory adaptation loop. For months, I could not understand how I could watch 40 short clips in a row without moving, but 2 pages of a book felt like climbing a mountain. I thought something inside me had broken, until I found the work of Harvard-trained psychiatrist, Dr. Shimi Kang. What she found explained something I had already been feeling. Constant rapid-fire stimulation physically alters the receptors in your brain that decide what feels worth your time. Eventually, ordinary attention begins to feel emotionally understimulating. You sit at your desk, you open the file, you stare at the cursor. It feels too quiet. Then you walk into a room and forget why you entered. You reach for your phone before conscious thought catches up. You close it. Your hand opens it again anyway. You plan your whole week instead of doing the first task, because you are incredibly overwhelmed by a life that doesn't even look difficult from the outside. You rehearse conversations that already happened, while your shoulders stay tight and your breath stays high in your chest. You reheat the same coffee twice. You leave laundry in the machine overnight. You cancel plans because you feel drained, even though you did nothing all day. You are exhausted by patterns that barely produce results, and it shows in your body too. Your breathing gets shallow the second silence appears. Your chest feels heavy before important work. You wake up tired after sleeping 8 hours. 2 different pathways are colliding in your brain at the same time. The first one, we already understand, your dopamine regulation has changed. You adapted to a world of fast, bright, constant input. Now, slow, steady attention doesn't register as worth it anymore. It feels flat, it feels empty, and it has one message it whispers every single time you try to focus on repeat. Too slow, too boring, not enough. Give me more, faster, brighter, louder. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your potential. It only cares whether the signal is intense enough to hold you. And right now, it thinks deep focus is a threat to survival. Every time this loop runs, the pathway deepens. The reflex gets faster. The resistance gets higher, not because you are weaker, because the pattern is stronger. Your brain is learning consumption faster than creation. Researchers found the average person now switches tasks every 47 seconds. Think about what that actually means. You never finish a single thought before you abandon it. Your attention barely stays long enough for thought to deepen. And here's the part nobody tells you. You are bored, not because your life is dull, but your brain literally needs more input to feel normal. But the signal speed is only half the problem. The second half is what happens when those signals never actually finish. Here's the first hidden truth. The brain treats unfinished tasks like active threats, which means the email you avoided this morning is still consuming biological attention while you eat dinner. The stress does not disappear when your attention moves away from it. Your receptors continue carrying the signal. You open a notebook, you make a plan, you color code the plan, you research better planning methods, and you never begin the original task. There's a famous study from psychologist Zeigarnik that explains exactly why this hurts so much. Unfinished tasks are remembered more intensely than completed ones. Your nervous system prioritizes unresolved signals over peaceful ones. That is why rest feels impossible when your life contains too many open loops. Your threat reflex is constantly telling you, finish nothing completely. That way nothing can fail completely. And slowly the pathway deepens. Every avoided conversation sharpens the reflex. Every delayed decision strengthens the anticipation response. Every small withdrawal teaches the nervous system that avoidance creates safety, temporarily. Another thing most people miss entirely, rapid attention shifts exhaust. The nervous system faster than sustained focus, which means fragmentation exhausts the body faster than deep focus ever could. You think your discipline disappeared. Your brain concludes it is surviving repeated micro-threats. And there's a key detail. Dopamine receptors respond to rewarding signals from both real progress and simulated progress, which means planning, researching, and organizing can produce relief before the work even begins. You feel productive because the pathway has already received part of the reward. Then the real question arises. So if brain rot deepens through interrupted signals, unresolved tasks, and this kind of simulated progress, how can we override it? The primary override is embarrassingly simple. You stop forcing attention. You stop negotiating with stimulation. The research shows that effort actually increases the craving for stimulation. The override begins when the nervous system stops expecting intensity. You lower your environment below your current baseline, so your brain begins to seek anything as interesting again. You don't add discipline, you limit options. You start completing extremely small actions without interruption. Not impressive actions, not optimized actions, just completed actions. Dr. Teresa Amabile at Harvard found that even minor completed progress improves emotional regulation and cognitive stability more than large, unfinished goals ever could. Your nervous system trusts completion far more than ambition. And there are 4 more little things you can do, each taking 30 seconds or less, that completely shift how this system works for you. When you feel that urge to reach for your phone and scroll, don't fight it, don't give in to it. Just sit there with that feeling for 60 seconds and let it pass through you. If you walk into a room and suddenly forget why you came, don't wander around looking. Stop moving. Stand exactly where you are and wait quietly until that original thought comes back to you. When you're avoiding replying to someone important because you want to write the perfect message, stop overcomplicating it. Send just one single sentence instead. Done is always safer than perfect here. Try working with your screen set to black and white mode. Color is pure stimulation. Grayscale takes the excitement out of clicking and makes focus feel naturally easier. And eventually, the same pathway starts appearing everywhere else. If you leave dishes sitting near the sink for hours, don't try to clean the whole pile. Just wash one single item completely and walk away. One finished action begins changes. Leave your phone in another room before you even feel that itch to check it. Out of sight really does mean out of mind when your brain is constantly scanning for signals. And if you feel mentally flooded even while you're trying to rest, sit in silence and do absolutely nothing until you notice your breathing slows down once. That small shift is your reset button. Most importantly, change the way you speak to yourself about rest. Stop saying, "I need a break." Start saying, "I need quiet." No videos, no music, no podcasts. Real rest contains no incoming stimulation. There is a name for this whole approach: baseline detuning. It is not about detoxing or being good or following strict rules. It is simply lowering the volume of the world around you until your brain learns how to hear its own thoughts again. The brain does not measure your intentions. It measures your completed signals. Now you might think, I don't have that problem. I'm not scrolling all day. I'm learning things. I'm watching educational videos. I'm reading articles. There's a name for that too: phantom productivity. You feel productive because information is entering your brain. Your reward system fires every time you learn a new fact or hear a clever idea. Biologically, your brain treats consuming knowledge exactly the same as producing work. The problem is, information changes only your internal state. Execution changes external reality. Your nervous system learned that consuming feels safer than exposing unfinished work. The most ambitious people I know are the worst at this. They have the most books, the most courses, the most ideas, and the least to show for it. You think you are preparing. You are just feeding the loop, and the loop loves it because preparation never fails. Only execution has risk. The more you consume without creating, the more you believe you are learning. and the less capable you become of doing anything. The fact that you're watching this video instead of starting the thing sitting in the back of your mind right now, that is brain rot running in real time. You are inside it while I'm explaining it, and maybe this video felt calmer than the 30 other signals your nervous system absorbed today. Maybe your body stayed because something finally held one uninterrupted thread long enough for your receptors to stop scanning. You came here because you feel heavy and foggy and disappointed in yourself, and you didn't have a word for why intelligent people know so much and achieve so little. It's not a habit, it's not a flaw, it is brain rot, and now you know its name. Focus isn't a skill you build, it's a sensitivity you get back.